What's up people, it's me Wasabi, and today we're checking out the ATK F1 V2 Ultimate, which is the middle option. This shape is very popular because it roots from the Viper Mini, and some might even say that it's like a Viper V3 Pro Mini. So let's see if this updated version of the F1 is worth checking out. Now first, a quick unboxing because that's what you pay for too. You got a new 8K wireless receiver. This is their redesign moving forward. The ATK F1 V2, a braided USB-C cable, warranty card and manual, 2 sets of full-size PTFE skates, and a matching set of colored grip tapes. And that's pretty much all that's included inside the box. The F1 series is ATK's most talked about line because, well, like I said earlier, it's a shape that tweaks the Viper Mini blueprint a little. And I'm just gonna say right now that it's not a mouse that I find very interesting or a mouse that I can say that I enjoyed my time using it, but still, let's have a look. This Ultimate 2.0 version sits at $89.98, which is basically 90 bucks. And on paper, the upgrades over the V1 are, I would say, very small. The design looks identical to the previous version. The only real change is the new logo on the back, which I'm assuming is ATK's new branding. So there's really not much to highlight when it comes to the design, but I would say that this pearl blue colorway is the main visual highlight. It is super eye-catching for a budget mouse. Build quality, the shell feels tight, no creaking, no flexing, no weird noises. Buttons and scroll wheel are nicely fitted in with no excessive wobbling. With how the material feels, it does feel budget. So my impression of this is a decent quality mouse and nothing more. The coating is what they call a nano coating and it's advertised as sweat resistant. From my experience, the grip is okay, but when my hands get sweaty, that's when it starts to get slippery. It could very well be just this colorway. I'm not sure if other colors are grippier, but usually for gaming mice, the white colorway is the grippiest of the bunch. And the weights, the stated weight on the website is 39 plus minus 2 grams, and mine weighs in at 38.7 grams without the skates on. And for your info, the V1 was like 38 grams as well, so pretty much the same thing. Now before I get into more detail with the shape and how it feels from my experience, to put things into perspective, my hand size is 17.5 by 9. The ATK F1 is designed mainly for medium to small hands, and it leans towards a claw-friendly feel. Front half is built for control, and the rear gives slight palm support. Overall, I'd say it's a mildly locked-in shape. Towards the front, you got low starting buttons with deep grooves that lock your fingers into position. And when you extend your ring and pinky fingers, the shape does push those fingers out a little, but not too exaggerated like what you'd experience with Razer mice. And running down the sides, it is quite flat, making finger positioning very free and easy. And the hump of this one peaks slightly behind the center and drops off fast, which results in nice upright support for claw users. So when it comes to the grip styles, the palm grip style is totally doable, but as a frequent palm grip user, I do not find it ideal. It is just the short front end with the height of the hump and the steepness of the back slope that make it feel like my fingers naturally want to retract back into a relaxed claw position, which is why I'd say that the relaxed claw grip feels the most natural. The regular claw is comfortable for me as well, but for the aggressive claw grip, that's where it starts to feel off, because in this position, my fingers are pretty high up the buttons, which is not a height that feels very comfortable for this grip style. I feel like the rear end interferes with fingertip freedom and causes the sides to bump into my inner palm. So this is not a grip style that I use, but that's just for my hand size though. If you have larger hands, I don't think the fingertip grip style would be a problem at all, because after all, this is not a very big mouse. Overall, I'd say the comfort is decent for a mouse of this size, and micro adjustments do feel easy to manage. Not the most comfortable shape to me, but it definitely feels stable and controlled, especially towards the front with the button groove design of this mouse. Now the switch type depends on which of the 3 versions of this mouse you choose. This one that I have has ATK custom optical switches. These optical switches are intended to feel like mechanical switches. They sound like mechanical switches, but the follow through is a little dull. It's got minimal pre-travel but noticeable post-travel, which gives the end of the click a slightly sluggish feel. The side buttons are okay. They are very loud though, and it sounds sort of like thin plastic, but they are very clicky and snappy. Minimal pre-travel, but quite a lot of post-travel as well, because the buttons here go in quite deep. And last but not least, the scroll wheel. It's light and smooth to scroll. Steps feel borderline mushy, and you got a decent middle click that is not too heavy nor too light. Something I gotta mention is that the rubber threading does wear out pretty fast, and mine already looked quite used out of the box for some reason. Now here's a quick sound test to give you a better idea of how this mouse sounds. On cloth, the stock skates feel decent. It's a noticeably better experience than what I had on the V1. The V2 skates now have an anti-collapse layer, so gliding feels a little more consistent and smooth. It's nothing outstanding, but perfectly fine for you to get started with, at least until you decide you want to get third-party skates. On glass, the skates feel fine as well, but you would have a much better experience using skates made for glass pad use, if that is what you plan to use this mouse on. The V2 Ultimate 2.0 has the POR 3950 Ultra sensor, which is basically a tweaked 3950. In practice, it doesn't feel any different from other mice with a regular POR 3950, but at least from my experience, it feels stable with no weird tracking experiences, except for maybe the polling rate above 2K feels slightly floaty, similar to Pulsar's XS1 sensor. Liftoff distance adjustable from 0.7 to 1.7 millimeters with increments of 0.1, and you can set this all the way up to 42,000 dpi. Something to note is that this has a Nordic 54 series MCU and Apex Shark Max solution, which is something that they are promoting quite heavily with their new gaming mice. And you know, faster and more efficient tech is always a welcome sight, but just to let you guys know, I did not experience anything noticeably different while gaming. Connectivity wise, for this one, you got wireless and wired and no Bluetooth. Felt like I gotta mention that because a lot of Chinese brands, they include Bluetooth as well. More notably, you got the new dongle design. It's smaller, cleaner, there's no RGB light strip, and honestly, I think this is the nicest change for this generation of mice. Battery life, this version has a 300 milliamp battery, and you should expect around 250 hours. I'm assuming this is the mouse moving in constant motion at 1000 Hz with all the high performance settings turned off, and so far in my experience, nothing to report on the battery life performance. It's been working just fine since I got this one in November. With most ATK products today, you would use their web-based software. The user interface has been refined, but basically you got all the options that you would need: DPI, polling rate, remapping buttons, macros, all the usual stuff. There are a lot of options, and I would say maybe too many, and some settings just don't feel different or significant in practice, so it feels like it's kind of cluttered with settings. If you do decide to get this mouse, my advice is to start with the maximum performance settings, then tune it down if you experience any issues. This is one of those mice where nothing stands out, but at the same time, I cannot say that anything is particularly bad. But if I had to highlight something, it would be the pearl blue colorway because I think it looks very pretty, and the new design of the 8K dongle, which is much more compact and visually appealing over the one that came with the V1. So everything feels passable, it's perfectly functional, but not exciting enough to make me want to recommend it to many people. Now, final thoughts, and what do I think of its value? Well, if you're curious about the Viper Mini shape and you're looking for something with updated tech, that is somewhat of an affordable option to try something in that ballpark. This might be worth a shot. But personally, the real Viper Mini shape to me still feels a lot better, and even something close like the Final Mouse URX is a shape that I much prefer over this one. But you know, that's just my preference. I know lots of people seem to like the F1 shape, and again, this V2 performs fine, but just nothing about it convinces me to choose it over other mice that I already enjoy, not even the heavier ones. But you know, if you're interested to get one, there are 3 versions: the Ultra Max 2.0, which is about $70, the Ultimate 2.0, which is this one at $90, and the Extreme 2.0, which is $135. For those 3 options, the tech specs and weight differ between them, so make sure to check the product page and see what things appeal to you before you buy. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed or found it helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to support my channel, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.